Hi, everyone. My name is Ryan Sloan, and I am Assistant Professor of Graphic Design and the Interim Director of Graduate Studies for the MDES program here at the University of Arkansas. We're so glad to have you here and just so excited to share with you all some more information about our Master of Design program at the School of Art. So I'm going to go ahead and start by giving an overview of the program. So the Master of Design program will prepare students for emerging roles in community-centered design processes that generate equitable and sustainable solutions for the future. Now, I know that's a lot to say in one sentence, so I'm going to kind of explain a little bit more about what we mean by that. The goal of this program is to prepare designers to build a better world through design, and that is design that strengthens communities, the state of Arkansas, and beyond. This program considers the emerging roles that designers can play in the field, and specifically those that involve communities and participatory design processes that are equitable and sustainable. This program is a professional, research-led course of study primarily focused on citizen and commuter experiences through digital technology. Now, who is this for? A lot of people ask us this, and to be honest with you, there are a lot of answers. So, from an abstract, big picture standpoint, the opportunity to be curious and to deepen your relationship with design and what design can be. There are just many different roles that designers take on these days, and we want to be part of thinking about what those roles could be. Okay, and also to really spend time speculating on the what ifs of design. How might it be used in unexpected ways to address a range of issues? The School of Art really fosters a startup vibe of resources that allow you to test out new things, new ventures that focus on design. Now, maybe from the practical side of things, you might be at a place in your career where you are ready for a leadership position, or you plan to get into a leadership position. A master's degree can situate you to be uniquely prepared for those roles, but to also have, tangible proof of your qualifications. Or, maybe you're looking to pivot into a design role or a different kind of design role. We accept students that don't have undergraduate design degrees. So this can really round out your resume. And then lastly, maybe you are well into your career and you need to re-energize yourself. Maybe you want to really focus on your practice and who you are as a designer and think about those next steps. So there are a myriad of ways that you can do that here at the University of Arkansas. But overall, I think the Master of Design degree is just going to give you a chance to level up your skills in design strategy and research. But also it'll give you that space to pursue a specific issue, to pursue a topic that you're passionate about through the lens of a designer. And lastly, to teach. This degree does give you the qualifications, the terminal degree, needed to teach at a college level and to be a design professor in academia, which is exciting. Okay, so I want to briefly explain to you the curriculum and how you might complete this degree in 2 years. I'm going to highlight some of the amazing things that our students are doing in these courses as well. So a bit of a background. It is a 2-year full-time 60-credit program. We do not offer a part-time option, so I just want to point that out. We are NASAD approved. This is equivalent to an MFA as an MDES. It's a terminal degree. But in terms of the overall curriculum, you'll have your core classes, which comprise of 3 studio classes, 4 seminars, a thesis prep studio, and a thesis studio. And then in addition to that, you have the option to choose from a multitude of special topics taught by our amazing design faculty. You'll take 3 of those over the course of 2 years. And then you'll also take 2 electives outside of MDES to really sort of broaden your scope. So this is just an example plan of work. For instance, in the fall of 26, you will take the core studio class, which is Design and Communities, the seminar, Design and Research Methods, and Design Pedagogy and Leadership, as well as an elective. In spring, Design and Futures for the studio, Design Theory for seminar, and then a special topics and elective. And you can kind of choose when you want to take your special topics and electives, so you can spread those out over the course of the 2 years. In summer, we have a special topics course offered. And then in year 2, you'll have your design thesis prep in the fall, design and technology, and then a special topics again. Finally, your design thesis and a seminar, design writing and dissemination, will cap it off. So this is an example plan. Again, the core classes are required, obviously, and specific to certain days and times, but the fluctuation of special topics and electives can change your schedule a bit. So I thought it would be interesting to sort of talk briefly about each one of these core classes, and wanted to quickly share with you an overview of this class, Designing Communities. As I mentioned earlier, this one-of-a-kind degree will really prepare you to advance your professional practice as a culturally responsive designer. And I think it also will bring sort of this community-centered mindset to leadership positions in really any industry or sector. So in this course called Designing Communities, students work directly with communities and explore what it's like to frame, to negotiate, and to solve problems through design. It really explores how design can influence physical, cultural, ecological, and even socio-technical systems. So for example, students in this course formed an initiative called Art Radius that works directly with CASH, which is a local organization that supports to empower creatives and communities. And together in this course, students facilitated a series of design workshops for local individuals to really elevate their skills. So there's digital imaging for self-promotion, typography and layout for promotion, and printing and reproduction on the risograph. Our second studio is called Design and Technology. This course is really exploring how technology and design can work together in various contexts, for good and bad, honestly. So students in this course, for an example project, they worked with Format, which is a music festival here, and the Inside and Out project, they really put together this installation that they made on campus in Old Main and created these really fascinating augmented reality elements along with it. This was a collaborative project that the students worked together on throughout the course of the semester. I'll keep going. This class, Design and Futures, is one that I've taught a couple times. It's really fun. It's really kind of weird. We use the studio to really think about the current state of design and how to speculate about its future. We talk about design's ever-evolving role in addressing complex problems, whether they're social, political, or environmental. And so we try to focus on making in this course, and use making as a venue for design research and speculation. So we play with different tools. We've hosted visiting designers or workshops. A couple years ago, Rick Griffith joined us and facilitated a letterpress workshop with the grads, as did Mike Durkin. So we really have a lot of fun in this class, and we make a lot, and we think critically about the things that we've made, and we speculate on what design can be. For design pedagogy and leadership, this is a seminar course, and in this course, students really begin by sort of thinking and learning about how to teach, but also be a leader in the field. And we believe these things are really aligned, practice and pedagogy. And so teachers have to be good leaders and vice versa. You can see some of the projects here in pedagogy and leadership, specific topics that the students explored. Indigenous knowledge to design pedagogy, leading with emotional intelligence, for instance. This course is very unique because really only a few graduate programs in the United States offer this course to students, and it really does prepare you for a life in academia. Another seminar, Design Theory, Past, Present, and Future. In this course, you will explore historical and contemporary theoretical frameworks and how you apply them to research, how you apply them to practice. Some examples, students did this through typographic explorations of poster design, and you can see a variety of samples here. In design research methods, this course really provides you with methods and standards for conducting and communicating research findings, really at different stages of the design process. So last semester, one of our grad students, Piper Sherman, conducted a research study related to Gen Z designers and their involvement in politics. This is one example. It really allows you the ability to choose sort of topics and areas of study that you're interested in, and uses design research as a facilitator. Design writing and dissemination is really dedicated to supporting the writing and the sharing of your thesis during your thesis semester. So this happens your very last semester when you're forming your final project. And finally, design thesis. This is a time dedicated to, let me jump backwards. Design thesis preparation. This is a course that's really dedicated to preparing you for your thesis. You'll work on a written proposal. You'll think about what topics you want to explore. You'll start your research findings, and this happens in the fall of your second year. So it's right before you really start to engage deeply with your thesis. And then finally is design thesis. This is your very final semester. It's a time that's just solely dedicated to you completing your final project, and you'll work largely independently under the advisement of a faculty member. You'll have a chair, and you'll have a committee of other faculty members that'll help support and provide guidance throughout your final semester. So as I mentioned, you'll also take 3 special topics courses. Topics are planned by faculty based on issues in the field, opportunities, faculty interests. And so here are a few examples of special topics classes that we've had in the past. Design and poster, which was one that I taught. Hand making for the digital world. Design and entrepreneurship, design and community organizing, design and data, and on and on. So It continually refreshes. We typically have 1 to 2 special topics courses available a semester, and they're generally in the evening, which allows also for a little bit more flexibility to build around your schedule. In the summer, we run an intersession course in Helena, Arkansas. And there, students work with a nonprofit organization called Thrive. And Thrive really focuses on new economic development in rural communities. And they do that through rebranding, through placemaking, and youth engagement. So together, the students and Thrive planned, in this particular example, and facilitated a design camp for grade school students. So it's super fun. You travel down to Helena and really engage with the community on a really personal level. And the work rotates. So depending on the needs at the time, you work collaboratively with your cohort to design an intervention for the community and work hand in hand with the wonderful organizers of Thrive. This was last fall. Design students took a special topics course called Design and Feminism on the personal and politics in design. This fall, students are taking a special topics course with Gabby Hernandez called Handmaking for the Digital World. And so it continuously rotates, and it's a great opportunity to work directly with a faculty member whose focus happens to be on any of these topics. So it's a great way to really sort of immerse yourself and connect with your faculty in a way that maybe you couldn't in a core class. Last fall, I taught design in the poster, and this is a few photos from our trip to New York City, which was fantastic. Sometimes these courses provide travel. This was a free trip to New York where we visited the poster house, Pentagram in this photo. We got a tour of Pentagram, of their studio, and had meetings with them. We visited the School of Visual Arts, a number of other places. So these are like really immersive courses that I think are unlike anything that you will find in grad schools across the country. As for electives, as the interim grad director, I will work directly with all grad students to kind of really identify what electives will support their research and interests. And so you can see here from this list of electives that have been taken by our MDES students in the past. There are a number of them, special topics in UX, for instance, social justice in the arts, communications and cultural studies. So there's just a wide array of electives to choose from. And that's one of the other benefits of this program is it can be very customizable to each grad student's interests. Let's talk a little bit about the curriculum and questions. So the first of which, we always have questions around financial support. In terms of this program, we do offer a full tuition waiver. In addition to that, we offer graduate assistantships to all of our students. And so students that are accepted first and second year, while you're here, you'll receive your tuition waiver and your annual stipend. It's about $17,000, give or take. We have potential fellowships that average around $4,000 annually. We have summer funding around $2,500. There's always the potential for special projects funding as well. But we are very fortunate to be in a place where we can support students in this way. And so in terms of graduate assistantships, all students are offered these, and That includes the full tuition waiver and an annual stipend, and only students that complete their assistantship receive their support. So the assistantships are essentially your job outside of courses, outside of taking courses. They are 20-hour-a-week maximum work assignments, and you'll have a faculty supervisor. In some cases, this may be firsthand teaching in the classroom, either in our foundations program or with undergraduate graphic design students, for instance. You may also work with visiting designers. You may do tech support in many of our different labs. That's a big part. We have a 2D lab, a 3D lab, and a design lab. You might assist the design and communications team for the entire School of Art. You might be a research assistant for various faculty. There may be some studio management and support. These are just a few examples, but roles change each semester based on need. But it is a great way to be like really engaged within our program at a hands-on level. Talk a little bit about opportunities within the program. There are a number of conferences that we take our grads to. This is an example of one at UCDA, University College and Designers Association. We support their travel, especially if grad students are accepted into the conference. So we're going to AIGA in Los Angeles in a few weeks. So there are a number of opportunities that we share with our students as we go about. If you have any questions about financial support, please reach me at rslone@uark.edu. In terms of resources, we have a beautiful, fairly new building within the last few years, the Studio and Design Center. I will tell you, so I don't have specific statistics on it, but it's an amazing space. If you're local, I'd love to give you a tour. In terms of our graduate studio, there's a large workspace for all grads. So you'll have your own wing of the building, essentially. It really mirrors a design agency sort of collaborative environment. It's outfitted with supplies, equipment, storage. You'll have your own desk, monitor. We have a large format printer, 3D printer, other specialty things. We have a maker space, and you'll receive your own electric standing desk, a bookshelf, filing cabinet, office chair, and monitor. It's also a classroom area attached to it with a smart TV. And then our maker space is sort of a private seminar room and a space for making, which is directly attached. We have a design archive where we often meet as faculty or we meet with students, and we're currently building a library of rare and out-of-date books at the moment, student projects, we have thesis documents, just a really kind of versatile space. What we call the design lab is a production space with all sorts of paper stock, supplies, and equipment. We have our Cricut machines and heat presses. We have a 4K projector, binding equipment, Arduino kits. We have a large format scanner, a really large format Epson printer for posters and oversized work. And of course, we have a 2-drum risograph printer that we're really excited about with a multitude of inks. So at one of your assistant, we generally have about 3 or so grads as labs in the design lab in each semester. So you're really able to get hands-on knowledge and experience with a lot of this tech. We have the AT2D lab, which is for this entire School of Art. The design lab is really for just the design program. So the AT2D lab is larger. It's organized and maintained by Shane Ritchie, who's a former creative director at museum here, Crystal Bridges. And One of your GA ships would be to work in here. Shane curates the equipment in the lab. He does demonstrations and oversees grads working in the lab. Like I said, it's open to the entire school, but houses some really interesting design-specific equipment that are too big for our lab. We have another 44-inch Epson. We have a plot wave. A large format banners, vinyl printers. We have a large scale vinyl plotter, laser engraving and cutting machine. So just a lot of like phenomenal, specialty equipment. And as a program, we're really excited about this special space that we have right in the front of the building called the Design Clinic. And this is just for design. This is here students really have the opportunity to kind of facilitate and participate in activities. The purpose of the clinic is kind of to be a community space dedicated to outreach. And so we keep this space activated and open to the public on a regular basis. We have workshops. Grads have exhibitions throughout the year and in the summer specifically. We have visiting lectures, and so it's just a really like versatile and visible space right in the front of the studio and design center. Okay, and if you have questions, of course, about resources, feel free to reach out to me about that. So in terms of collaboration, and we've talked a little bit about communities, but for those of you that aren't in the immediate area, I just want to say that Northwest Arkansas is home to several large multinational corporate headquarters. There's a rich ecosystem of design firms and agencies, and the presence alone of these partners just really provide a collaborative learning experience and give you some unique research opportunities. Northwest Arkansas, again, if you don't know, is also home to a growing number of startup companies, but headquarters of Walmart, Tyson, J.B. Hunt. In terms of design firms, we have Saatchi, Doxa, Jacobs & Co., Archetype, a number of nonprofits like Canopy and Cash. So we really do our best to collaborate with these partners throughout the year. Sometimes we have them as workshop leaders, as visiting designers, or even collaborators in projects. So it's a really, like I said, rich ecosystem of design firms and agencies here in Northwest Arkansas. And again, I just want to tell you a little bit about Northwest Arkansas if you're not familiar. I think students and faculty will all agree that it's just a really special place. It has so much to offer. It's such a welcoming community. We have something for everyone. We have beautiful nature from the Buffalo River to the Ozark Mountains. An active downtown and square with restaurants and shops, and it's a farmer's market. And we're home to 2 world-class museums, which is so rare. The Momentary and, of course, Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art in Bentonville. So it's just a really rare and sort of like this hidden gem, as they say. Lastly, I'd just like to introduce you to my amazing colleagues. If you join our program, you will get to know them very well. So starting on the top left, we have Professor David Chiaffi, Associate Professor Tom Hapgood, Associate Professor Marty Maxwell Lane, Endowed Associate Professor Alice Lee, Associate Professor Bree McMahon, myself, Assistant Professor Ryan Sloan, Teaching Assistant Professor Nadia Issa, and Endowed Associate Professor Gabby Hernandez. And I will say that we each have our own different focuses, as you can see, and interests, but we are a very collaborative and tight collective, and we work together continuously to make this a better program for everyone involved. So the last few slides, I just want to share a little bit about applying. There's the QR code. The main thing is the deadline is January 15th every year. There are steps. This is all in Slide Room. It's not just your portfolio I want to put out. You will write a personal statement, sort of your autobiographical statement outlining your education experiences, achievements. You'll write a reflection statement, which is really just a one-page reflection on your experience and perspectives. You will upload your resume or CV, and then your professional portfolio, 8 to 10 projects, a PDF of your unofficial transcripts from all previous college or universities. It's a GPA 2.85 and above, and then 3 letters of recommendation. And step 2, you will apply to the graduate school. And the timeline sometimes fluctuates, but the January 15th deadline is always consistent. So make sure you apply by January 15th. In late January, we will send out interview invitations if you are a finalist. And you will then engage with a Zoom interview with faculty, generally in early February. And then in late February, early March, you will learn if you are accepted, if you are waitlisted or rejected. Those are sent to you via email. April 1 is the deadline then to accept if you choose to move forward. And April 8th is the deadline to complete the graduate school application, which is separate. Then in May, we have a spring virtual welcome session, and just know that you'll start in the fall, but you'll need to arrive in Arkansas by August 1st. And then we have a variety of orientations and activities that happen during the first week of August. Some frequently asked questions as we wrap up. This is the last slide. So what happens in the interview? It's really a quick 10-minute discussion to share your experiences and interest in grad education. How many students do you accept? We typically accept around 6 for a total of 12 in the program. There is no part-time option right now in the program. You do need an official transcript, and the graduate student application fee is $60. If you don't have an undergraduate degree in graphic design, that's okay. We encourage everyone to apply regardless of your design background. We review statements and portfolios and really try to put together a cohort of students with diverse experiences that will really support the rigorous study of design. Will this degree enable me to teach? Absolutely. As I mentioned before, an MDES is a terminal degree, which will allow you to teach in higher education. How should I curate my portfolio? Portfolio should demonstrate a range of design-related experiences that reflect formal and technical skills sufficient for graduate level work. So we cannot offer advice if you are applying on your portfolio. So I just want to point that out. But it is important to really sort of curate this and think long and hard about what you want to show. And I would recommend showing the work that you're most proud of and the work that points you to the future in design that you want to pursue. What are our academic requirements? A BFA in graphic design or similar program, or a BA degree with some professional design experience. So if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to me at, again, my email is rslone@uark.edu. Thank you again for your time, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.